Okie dokie nerds, welcome back to another vintage video. Today we are playing AggroVine. AggroVine is a mono green aggressive Bazaar of Baghdad deck, but it's built to reduce its reliance on the graveyard. So graveyard cards that we play are just 4 VengeVibes and 2 Poxwalkers. Nothing else is particularly interested in the graveyard in this list. That means our turn 1 play is still going to be to mulligan and find a Bazaar of Baghdad, activate it, drop some lizards, poxwalkers, vengevines, hollow ones, something like that, just get some power and toughness in play. And then after that, we've got all of these mana sources in the left-hand column, which can push out things like Hex Drinkers, which can break board stalls, Null Rods and Collectorous, which can obviously just deny your opponents on mana, and then play things like Force of Vigor, Chalice of the Void, Wasteland. So we're very much like dump power and then deny mana. So less stack interaction than usual in the squee decks, bit more mana denial, and hope our 4 power creatures carry us there. I've got 3 Once Upon a Times in here as well. This can dig a bit deeper for Bazaar of Baghdad, dig for a hollow one or something. Once you've activated your Bazaar, one thing I've got is 2 rods, 3 oofs. I've liked splitting them recently. I've got another another rod in the board. I've liked splitting them recently because Jewel and Raker Shops, when you really want this effect, both run Talon Gates. So that's why I'm not just on 4 Collectorous. I want a Null Rod, which is a bit more awkward for them to deal with. And then there's a Misstep because it's cracked. A bit more fast mana in the Lotuses and stuff. And then all of our mana sources over there. Post board, we've got a Null Rod, a Beseech, and another Vigor for our artifact matchups. We've got a Caracas for Oath of Druids and possibly Doomsday and Mono White, that sort of thing. Just where they might have some sideboard legends, which will be annoying. And then I've got 3 Dismembers to kill Bowmasters, Frogs, and White creatures. And then after that, we've got like the graveyard cards. So for Dredge, we've got Grafdigger's Cage, Endurance, and Ravenous Trap, 2 of each. The reason I've split it like this is Ravenous Trap is the only dedicated Dredge card there. We've got Endurance, which can come in against Doomsday as well. And we've got Grafdigger's Cage that can come in against Oath as well. So Endurance and Mindbreak Trap will come in against Doomsday, maybe a Caracas. Grafdigger's Cage will come in against Oath of Druids alongside Force of Vigor and Beseech and Caracas. But we've still got our 6 Graveyard Hate pieces plus 5 Wastelands, right? So that's the idea, just using the Graveyard Hate suite to keep it there and keep it healthy, but also try and shore up a few matchups which are typically quite bad for the deck. So anyway, we're going to run this through a league this morning, see how we get on, and enjoy the last bit of this vintage format before Dragonstorm comes out. So anyway, see you for round 1. Okay, round 1, we're up against S8 Shock, who I think is usually on Doomsday, but obviously people can change decks, but that's immediately what comes into my mind. We take a mulligan to start because there was no Bazaar of Baghdad. And here we'll probably just... Well, we will powder. I'm not sure what we drop though. Maybe just a Once Upon a Time. Yeah, there's no way to get them off of the ruse that we're playing AggroVine with that hand. So let's mulligan again. And here we've got a bit of a dodgy one, but we'll keep it. Probably send back Cradle Bazaar. Opponent hasn't revealed a Lurrus, so I'm going to assume that my inclination is correct. Or maybe I just want to get rid of the 2 Cradles, actually. Cradle. Say done. And then I think do I want to lead Lotus or do I want to hold Lotus? The advantage of leading Lotus is that if let's say I draw exactly VengeVine, Collectorous. If I play a Lizard and then cast a Black Lotus, my opponent knows that this Black Lotus is very high value with the VengeVine in the yard. But then I've already mulliganed to 5. Then I'm kind of committing to discarding the second Bazaar or the Wasteland. But maybe that's fine. If I land like an Oof or a Null Rod or something, or even just a Hex Drinker, that might be acceptable. Where I've got no mana though, or like nothing to spend my mana on, I guess I should just play Bazaar and see how the game goes. I hit the Hex Drinker. No, I don't want Lizard. I don't want Bazaar. I guess I don't want Wasteland, because then I can play Hex Drinker, make it a 4/4. But then if my Lotus gets countered, we feel like a knob. I'm just going to come off the lands and just try and be as quick as possible. So let's cast this guy, and now we'll cast the Black Lotus. That gets through. We'll crack it for green, make a Hex Drinker. And we'll counters on, cast a Ruby. Counters on, counters on. So we've got a 4-4. We're attacking for 7 a turn. We're going to be able to activate a Bazaar of Baghdad. Opponent doesn't have a Lurrus. I believe they're usually Doomsday, but we shall see how it goes. Doomsday is one of those matches I thought it's Mana Crypt, so not necessarily Doomsday. Petal, Mana Crypt. Oh, Anointed Peacekeeper, okay. They're on mono white. I was not expecting that at all. They haven't played a land yet this turn. Naming Hex Drinker or Bazaar here, I would presume. If they think they've got the Bazaar covered with a Wasteland, then yeah, they'll name the Hex Drinker, right? So Hex Drinker now costs 3 to activate. We just attack for 7. No blocks from the opponent, and we'll get in for 3. They've got a Mana Crypt flip on their upkeep. 3 with the Lizard, sorry. And I think they won the flip, yeah, because I've hit them for 7. Face down Witch Enchanter. Puts opponent to 10, which is good for us. And that's an Archon of Emeria. And in comes the Peacekeeper. So attacking with the Hex Drinker here is kind of tough, isn't it? Because what would I kill? I'd kill one of their 2 guys. And then I'm just on Mana Crypt flips. I still think I have to slay though. But maybe I can just attack with my 1-1. Trade it off for something, then I'm not dealing any damage. Whereas I feel like getting them to 7 could do some good things for their Mana Crypt. Yeah, they come in with the double block. I activate. I'm not sure which of these I want to kill though, whether it's the Peacekeeper or the Emeria. Probably the Emeria. Maybe that's a really suspect attack. Maybe it's supposed to just be Lizard. So anyway, their Archon's dead, which means our Bazaars will come into play untapped. They're going to come in with the Peacekeeper. They've got no plays though. But now their Peacekeeper is less... I don't like attacking here. I really don't like this attack. But I've moved to combat. Do I want to force the trade? I can force the trade and then play the Lizard, right? I think I should have just played Mox Emerald and then cast Once Upon a Time. Oh, opponent's got a Plough in response. Okay. Main deck Ploughs. So opponent's still got their Mana Crypt. Still wins flips. Hasn't lost one yet. Has an Ancient Tomb. In for 3. Are they still interested in trading here? I think you have to be, right? Or you just rolled up for Ploughs? Nope. They had nothing last turn, yeah, and they've got nothing this turn. So now we can cast our Once Upon a Time. At the very least, see if we can find a Bazaar of Baghdad. We can't. But we can find a Wasteland. And then we can just Wasteland their White Source. And now they're going to be a decent way away from anything. Opponent finally loses a Mana Crypt flip. Has a Cavern of Souls. Not ideal. Name's Human. Witch Enchanter will kill one of my Mox. And so they were rolled up for lands there. We can play a Wasteland and then maybe just cycle a Hollow one. It's a Serum Powder. Opponent loses a flip again. Find something to do with their mana. It's just a Soul Ring. Wasteland's my Wasteland. And now it's just Crypt flips versus a Witch Enchanter. Well, we'll play Beseech, and I think I just cycle Hollow one again. I'm just trying to find something to do with myself. Collector Roof's a good one. Opponent loses flip. Perfect. So they probably did lose about half their flips there, right? Turn 8. I think they lost 3, so maybe not, but that was a interesting game. I think I played the mid game poorly when I attacked that Hexdrinker. I think I could have got away with just sending the Lizard. So Dismember, Caracas, and Beseech can come in. I don't think we care too much about the other stuff. Chalice on the draw is questionable. Force of Vigor can Stone Rain them quite aggressively. But maybe I want to be able to rod them. Misstep's not very good. And that would then be 1 cut, so we can just drop a Poxwalker and come off of Graveyard Reliance somewhat on the draw. And that gives us like a nice 21 lands or something. It's a bit more insulated against Wasteland. 6 Null Rods to kind of lock them after their turn 1. Or maybe on the draw, the 2 Mindbreak traps are better than 2 of the rods. Or 1 of the rods and 1 of the oofs. Yeah, let's try that out. We've got a Bazaar. I'm going to keep it. So we can Bazaar away our VengeVine, or we could just go Yavimaya into Hexdrinker. Ancient Tomb. Soul Ring. This looks like a Trinosphere start, doesn't it? If you're not producing coloured mana. Oh, Chrome Mox, sure. The fuck happened to that Chrome Mox? Special guests. Plays an Archon. Has a Seasoned Dungeoneer. Pretty bad for the home team. They've got 1 card in hand, though. Another Gaia's Cradle. I think I'm going to lead on Bazaar. I've got so many lands. I've got loads of lands. Powder Cradle Forest. Hold the VengeVine for a moment. See if we can double spell them next turn with our Hexdrinker and our Bazaar of Baghdad. They've got 3 cards in hand. They've Surveil a Chrome Mox to the graveyard. I go to 14. Basic planes, no plays. So that's very good for us. The no plays part of things there. We'd really quite like to get this VengeVine in. So I think we just have to activate, right? Ugh. How much am I taking next turn? 11. Maybe 12. That's quite a lot of damage. So VengeVine. Bazaar Strip, maybe. I can never get this off the board, can I actually? So I'm just dead to that. Because it's going to hit me for 11. That's going to put me to 3, and I can never cast a Dismember. Okay. And it's a 6/7, so Dismember's not particularly good against a 6/7. Right, and then on the play, I definitely don't think I want these traps. I think I'm far more interested in Chalice, Nullrod, Collector Roof. Maybe I should have been interested in these cards before anyway. The Poxwalkers I do like, but they just run headfirst into like all of the graveyard hate our opponent has to offer sort of thing. Maybe 1 less Rod. Maybe the Caracas is bad actually, because I don't think they play Thalias these days. It can get you out of like a Boromir squeeze or something, but I think this is fine. So straight back down. Bazaar Lizard. We'll keep this. We'll make that slightly bigger. Okay, and here we go. Opponents revealed a chance with the Annex. So one of our Lizards is already dead. But we'll play the Bazaar, give it a spin. 2 VengeVines. So what if I go Powder, VengeVine? And then I can attack for 8 next turn. pretty much regardless. The only thing that I can't attack for 8 through is what? Lotus Archon Wasteland. It's an ancient tomb. Oh, Archon's just devastating though, isn't it? Maybe that was awful. Mox Pearl. Season Dungeoneer. Cool. Regretfully, I've already got my forest, but opponent gets a basic plains. I think I'm interested in the Hex Drinker this turn, so I'm not actually going to flip for more VengeVibes off the second Bazaar. Triple Lizard. I don't know why my lizards are mismatching today. This one gets countered from the Chancellor trigger that we definitely remembered. I get 2 VengeVibes into play. And we cast the second lizard. Let's attack for 8 and give our deck a shuffle. How interested in this VengeVine am I? They've got 4 mana next turn anyway, even if I wasteland them. Not VengeVine, Hex Drinker. I could just play Wasteland to play around Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. Do we think I'm winning next turn? They're trading off the Season Dungeoneer. I don't have a basic land. So I can play Waste and Pass. I think that might actually be the line rather than the Hex Drinker. Although blocking isn't the play that someone makes if they're holding Tabernacle, right? You just take your 8 and untap and wrath me. So I think I'm allowed to play Forest Hex Drinker in that case. Because I don't believe you've got the Tabernacle. You can always top deck the Tabernacle, but I don't believe you've got it now. If you're blocking. So here's 5 mana. It's a Seasoned Dungeoneer. They get the initiative back and they forge on to their Dungeoneer, making it a 5/6, which is pretty thick. They've got a basic plains. And we've got another Bazaar. I'm going to give this a spin because I'd like a Gaia's Cradle. I get a Collector Roof. So I'll drop Norrod, Bazaar, Powder. I'll play the Wasteland because this will give me pump threats. Attack with everything? I think so. Opponent blocks the Hex Drinker. I deal 6. I think 6 is good. Oh, we've got a plow on the VengeVine. Okay. Maybe I've lost too much. What do I want to do? Forge or Lost Well? I guess I want to Lost Well because I'd like to fix the top of my deck for something. Norrod, Collector Roof. I don't think I'm interested in either of those cards. Although Collector Roof's interesting, right? So I'd be able to go Collector Roof, activate Bazaar, maybe bring back a VengeVine. Yeah, I'm going to do that one. I'm going to keep the Collector Roof. I'm going to play out this Collector Roof, which will stymie their mana slightly. Opponent comes in for 5. I can't block. They surveil an Archon of Emeria to the graveyard. I cannot block this attack. They get the initiative back again. They're going to trap me for 5, so I'll be at 13. Or what did they just do? They goaded my dude. Okay. So that means they've got a follow-up here. Archon of Emeria. So my VengeVines are locked out as well. So Bazaar's going to come in tapped. My VengeVines are locked out. I can hit opponent for 4, putting you down to 4. I can hit opponent for 2, putting down to 6, and then playing a Collector Roof. But then you're going to get a 4/1. Maybe this should be an activation looking for Dismember. We miss. So I just play the Collector Roof anyway. Or I hold the Collector Roof and pump a Lizard. Then I'm not playing to the board. And they've got a 6/7 and a 2/3. I think I still need to keep my Collector Roof. Attack. If I attack with these and pump as well, you're at 4 and you can't tap your mana. I'm just going to die to the... Dungeoneer. I do get a treasure token, which I can use, but I can't use it to pump to play the Collector Roof. But they don't need to tap their Ancient Tombs if the Collector Roof is gone, do they? So I guess 2's better. Deal 2, get a treasure. Let's stash. Do I want to... I don't really want to use my Wasteland, do I? Because that's how I'm going to pump my lizards in the future. But then I've just got this nonsense treasure token that's never doing anything. But I still think I'd rather have the stable mana sources in play rather than sacrificing 2 permanents this turn. I'm not in love with our position here. In comes the Dungeoneer. Witch Enchanter's on top of the deck. Straight to the bin. We take 7, we fall to 11. Opponent's going to have a 4/1, I presume, unless they want an extra card. Yeah, they want a 4/1. A 4/1's better than a card here, right? Cavern of Souls on Angel. So they're working up towards the big Phyrexian person. Gaia's Cradle pumps both my lizards. So I can... How much am I taking off this? 7. This is a lethal attack, so I get to eat both their guys. No, it's tapped. That's annoying. So if I attack with everyone, though, that's still going to make a lethal attack, right? So you have to block someone. So I get to kill both your creatures. Okay, I guess that's the line. You block there. You block here. I pump this guy. We get the initiative, I get a 4/1. And then I can just flip for a lizard, right? Which I think is perfectly fine. I don't get a lizard. So 7, 8, 9 is what our opponent's presenting, but they also get to complete a dungeon. Oh, and if they complete the dungeon and hit the white plume, no, they... Yeah, and then they'd get to untap everything, wouldn't they? They reveal a Lotus Petal, that makes it 8. 3 plays 3. And it's if they've got a spell in hand as well. There's a white plume there so they can untap everything. Or there's a Chancellor if they think Chancellor's the way to win. They take the white plume to get the untap. Yeah, that was really solid. Now, how do I deal damage here? Top deck Dismember would win if they've got no spells. Because we're playing against exactly the board at the moment. So they untap their creatures, which is tough on the Menace lad. Top deck Dismember would win is what I said, so let's play that out then. And black mana off the treasure token and pay the 2 life. And I've got a pump on the lizard for 3 and a menace creature, so I'd lose to Plough. Plough, Solitude, any flash threat, they've got a Plough. Okay, we lose. Good games. That was close though. Lucky top deck from me, but they had us rolled up, so never mind. But it was a cool match. Okie dokie, round 2, we're up against S8 Shock again, so another rerun of Mono White versus AggroVine. I used to really like this matchup, but I don't think I can keep this, even though Chalice is powerful versus them. Oof. That's Powder. So I'll keep a Once Upon a Time. Oh, maybe I will. And a Serum Powder. What does this hand do? This hand does exactly nothing, right? I play a... On the draw, I play a 3/1 Death Toucher. And then I can produce a green. So... Looks pretty tough. It also looks tough. I think we're just going to go again. And I think I'll keep 3 cards green source Once Upon a Time. So we'll go Force of Vigor, Hollow one, this one, and then do I want Yavimaya or Emerald? Probably Yavimaya. Yeah. Opponent has a Chancellor, which is a bit of a beat. But we can still consider playing the Once Upon a Time and paying for it. Or we can just punt the Once Upon a Time into the Chancellor and then play a Hex Drinker. Or we can just die. Yeah, cool game. Let's see if we top deck a Forest and then go to game 2. No. Okay then. That was tough. So what do we want? We want Dismembers. We're on the play, so I want to keep my Chalice in. I want my Beseech. Maybe the Vigors aren't so good because I'm leaning more on the rods. I say that, I'm about to drop a rod. Yeah, I think I am. No, I'll drop a Once Upon a Time over a rod. Okay, game 2. Similar sort of shit, really. Is Hex Drinker good enough? And I think the answer is no. This is Bizarre, VengeVine, Poxwalkers, Lizard. So if we top deck a hollow one, we are officially gaming. Let's keep this and drop the Yavimaya Cradle. Opponent's on 6, no Chancellor trigger this turn. Or this time. So we miss. But I still think I just discard those 3 and get my Poxwalker in. And then we can pass to our opponent. If we have a Bazaar of Baghdad, we can give it another spin and then just go Cradle Hex Drinker and see if we've hit another creature in that time. Opponent has Chrome Mox, and this was a mulligan to 6, so they're on 7. Then the Chrome Mox exiles an Archon, Mox Sapphire, Ancient Tomb, Seasoned Dungeoneer. They believe is the scariest thing for me. Hopefully we can just hit a rod off of this. That's a Serum Powder. It's aggressively not a null rod. Well, we hit a Lizard, which is pretty cool. We'll ditch the basic Forest. We'll cast the Lizard. We'll play Gaia's Cradle. Cast a Hex Drinker. And then I guess just pump the Hex Drinker twice because I don't want to blow up any of their stuff. Opponent's conceded the game, and I wouldn't be able to attack through with the Lizard, would I? So that was cool. On the draw, I think I'm going to swap that Chalice out, have a Mind Break Trap, and then come down and Null Rod as well, because they're quite slow. Missteps I'm going to keep just because they showed they had plows. Maybe the Misstep can get a plow, maybe the Misstep can get a Soul Ring. It might be a bit weak, and it might be better as an Endurance or Once Upon a Time, another Null Rod something, but just something to try and protect our creatures seems fine. Once Upon a Time, Mind Break Trap. Yeah, we'll keep this. We've got the Bazaar. If opponent's got a Chancellor trigger, we can break it and then counter their Archon. They've got a Chancellor trigger, so... A Once Upon a Time is not going to resolve, and then we're going to be reliant on... Oh, no plays. Okay, interesting. Another Bazaar. So let's just Send the Once Upon a Time trigger, because that's all we can do with it. We've got no mana producing lands. And then we'll just give our cards a flip. And we'll discard Powder, VengeVine, Bazaar of Baghdad. We've got a second Bazaar. I've got a Dismember, Collector Roof, Mindbreak Trap. Yeah, I'm going to discard the Bazaar for now. Maybe you can discard the Trap there and assume that you need more Bazaars to get anywhere in this game. This might just be Witch Enchanter 3/4. Witch Enchanter face down into Seasoned Dungeoneer. We've got a Cavern of Souls, naming Archon. Okay. And no plays. So we get another VengeVine. Bear in mind we can't double spell, so we want to activate this and find a land. I do not want to play... Do I want to play a Hollow One now? I guess so. I've not played a spell yet this turn. So if I go VengeVine... Do I play Lizard? I guess I play Lizard because... Do I care about Collector Roof? That's the next question. I'm not sure the answer to that. Because if I discard Collector Roof... I think I just discard Collector Roof and play Hollow One. Cast Hollow One. Play a tapped Guy's Cradle. That means next turn I can dismember their Archon of Emeria, if it's still in play. So I can't double spell and get the 2 VengeVines back, right? So this unlocks Dismember, and we've got to hope that there's not a second Archon over there. This is 4 mana for a Seasoned Dungeoneer. That's not fine, but it's what we're working with. So they get in for 2. They've got basic planes in hand, 4 cards. Wasteland. So let's kill the Archon. And now we will activate the Bazaar. They're going to have a planes in hand after that. I think I'm just going to discard everything and then play the other Bazaar. And flip for more VengeVines. Or Poxwalkers or something. Or do I really like the Ruby that much? No, maybe the Ruby is tech actually. Just because it's so much damage. At which point do I want to Wasteland something? So Lizard, Bazaar. Cast a Lizard. Cast a Lizard. Yes to VengeVines. Cast a Mox Ruby. Wasteland your white source. They've got basic planes. Maybe just Wasteland Ancient Tomb. Maybe no Wasteland. Let's attack for 12. Opponent's going to have to block here, right? Yep, so your thing's dead, I get a forest. And this time it is actually in my deck. And then spend a Wasteland on a Ancient Tomb and just stymie that mana somewhat. We can pay for Tabernacle through Cradle. An opponent concedes the match to the Wasteland. Nice! So we're 1-on-1 against the old mono white. Okie dokie, round 3. We've got a new opponent. We're on the draw against AAA258, who I think trophied with Lurrus Breach recently. They've got 3 Bowmasters or 4 Bowmasters in their deck. We're going to keep our turn 1 VengeVine to potential turn 2 Collector Roof, or at least Vigor pitching Collector Roof, right? If they go too hammy. So Misty Rainforest, and a Mox Pearl, and a Mox Jet. And they pass the turn. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to try and bink their 2 Moxen. Because that will force the... Do I want to bink their 2 Moxen? Probably not. No. I've changed my mind. That's a Lizard. So I'm going to go for their Moxen in their upkeep. This is going to be a Bowmaster. That's all fine. They could have put the Bowmaster in play if I'd binked them. So does it do anything? I can just see more cards and have more options. They'll then trade with the VengeVine. We get another Bazaar. So let's discard VengeVine. Lizard, Lizard. And now we can pitch Vigor to Vigor. We fall to 17. And then double Lizard Gaming. We'll attack for our 4, and then we'll cast the Hollow One post-combat. Maybe the Vigor on end step would have been really good because it would have flushed out the Bowman and maybe even flushed out a Force of Will. They're just taking the 4. Wild stuff. So are they holding Time Twister? I'll cast a Hollow One. They don't care about that either. They fetch for Undercity Sewers. And they keep on top. We pass the turn, then upkeep I'm just going to go for the big Vigor on Vigor gameplay. Opponent has Force of Will pitching Merchant Scroll, leaving them on 1 card in hand. Which I think is good for us. They've got 1 card on top. If their final card's a Time Twister, then sure, whatever. But if it's not a Time Twister, then... Oh, they've got a Demonic Tutor. So they're going to have a Time Twister in the near future then, aren't they? The Ancestral themselves. Okay, so maybe they're just not playing the Twist. Pluto Delta. And passes the turn. Our best card here is just going to be Gaia's Cradle. Okay. I'm going to send the squad because I would like to activate this turn. I'm hoping their Bowmaster gets in the way. They fall to 5. Can I activate here? What would happen? You'd put a point of damage here and a point of damage here. And then on the crackback I'd take 5, but my creatures would still be in play. Your creature would be a bit bigger. I just have 2 attackers. I wouldn't be presenting lethal. But if I hit Gaia's Cradle, Black Lotus, maybe activation's really bad. So there's not actually that many outs for me here. If I already had a mana source rolled up and in play, it would be okay. But I'm a bit concerned, and I really want to resolve a Null Rod. But I don't think Null Rod's doing anything. I'm just going to pass. I'm going to hold my Bazaar, and I'm just going to pass. Opponent fetches to 4. And that's it. That's just what they're doing. So, opponent's turn 3. We've got them down to 4, but they've got 5 mana. Okay, so opponent just passes the turn. They did tap a Mox Pearl halfway through their turn. So what does that mean? They're just holding another Bowmaster. So I can attack. They can ping my Lizard. And then they can put their token in front of my Hollow One. Do I want to activate in response to that? I don't think so. So this is going to trade with the Hollow One rather than defeat the Hollow One, you know? Rather than be bigger than the Hollow One. Or is this just another Bowmaster? Is this just a triple Bowmaster draw from the opponent? Rebuild. Okay. Now you have to block and trade. Oh, they're just going to chump. Okay. Well, I believe I have to activate here. My VengeVibes would die. They'd have a 6/6. I think that's fine. I think I've got to do something. Let's discard Serum Powder, Bazaar of Baghdad. And Null Rod. They're holding 2 Moxons. They've actually only got 1 card in hand. We've drawn the absolute world here. Because they're going to go tick on VengeVibes. That's fine. He's back anyway. Let's cast our Hollow One. Play a Cradle. Cast a Ruby. Cast a Collector Roof. VengeVibes comes back, and 2 of the cards in their hand are dead. And they can't... They need like a Fatal Push or something, but they can't, you know, buy Lurrus this turn. Next turn, unless they've got another Bowmaster, they can't block my Collector Roof. This is 3 mana. This buys Lurrus. We know they're holding 2 Moxen. They have to just go to 1 here, right? There's no other option. And their Bowmaster's dead, so then I'll get a clean activation in. My Hollow One will die, but that's fine. I don't think playing out a second Null Rod helps us at all. They have to block with the Bowmaster, that's non-negotiable. That you just lose the game though. You can't block like that, right? Okay. You can block like that, just you don't get to play anymore. Right. That looked quite control-y, but I do believe they're slightly more combo-y than they led on there. So maybe I still want a couple of Dismembers for the Bowmasters. I think I'm interested in the Vigors. What Moxen did I blow up there? Blew up Jet and Pearl. So that's not even true. They don't at all look like a combo deck from what we saw today. So maybe I just want 3 Dismembers and a Beseech. Something like that. Come off of a Rod. A Once Upon a Time. A Once Upon a Time and a Once Upon a Time. And just see if we can stick this and then see how we do. They did Trophy or something. They had the Rebuild though, didn't they? Rebuild's a bit combo-y. Yeah, you don't put Rebuild in your control decks, do you? Maybe I should have stuck to my gut and bought in like the Mindbreak Trap or something. So we've taken a mulligan. We're going to take a powder. We'll keep Misstep in our deck. Why not? This is a turn 1 Collector Roof. Is that good enough? It's not going to be a Force of Will, is the problem. But it is very powerful. And I've got a Hex Drinker. No, I think I can go to 5. And then here we've got something good. So let's get rid of Dismember and Mental Misstep. No, if they play a Needle, I'm going to feel like an idiot. But I need my creatures. I need my Bazaar to get my creatures into play, and then I can make a Hex Drinker, was my thinking. Maybe it's one of those ones where I just have to accept the fact that if they have a Needle, I can't do anything. If I was on 6, I'd have a Misstep sort of thing. Opponent leads on Underground Sea and has a Ponder. Ponder then has a Mishra's Bauble. And Mishra's Bauble targets me. Okay, 5 cards for the opponent, 6 once we've gone through my upkeep, and then... Oh, a Black Lotus. Let's play the Bazaar and activate for vines and stuff. So, oh, that's interesting. I don't have to play. Lizard, Hollow on. I'm either coming off Hex Drinker. Maybe I'm supposed to just come off Hex Drinker then. Yeah, I think I will. I think I'll come off the Hex Drinker. Because then I can... play these 2 cards. And we can play Black Lotus. Cast the Lotus. Cast the Hollow One. Cast the Hollow One. And now they can't Tabernacle me. And then I'll get to play a Cradle. Maybe double Mana Source is bad, but I like it. Opponent Ancestrals himself. I don't love that. But 10 then 10 could be quite good. We've got a second Underground Sea. This produces a Mystical Tutor. Oh, wow. Sorcery Speed Mystical. Then how are they getting into it? They've got to Beseech the Mirror. Oh, okay. Cool. They probe me. They see a Gaia's Cradle. So what's this? Mox Lotus kill? Wow. Nice. So it wasn't Breach they were on. They were on Beseech Storm with Lurrus. So yeah, we're dead. Our opponent is going to bargain that away. They'll then get a Yawgmoth Will here. And then they can play Emerald Lotus, Dark Ritual, Bauble, Beseech, get Tendrils. Storm count is adequate. Does that make me want like Endurance or Ravenous Trap or Mindbreak Trap or something? I definitely want max Null Rods. We'll let the opponent show it all off. There's the Tendrils. Storm count is 14. That is fine. That was cool. We go to our post-board games. Does this do anything? No, because the Beseech card you cast from Exile, right? So I'd probably just rather have... I think Endurance... Maybe Grafdigger's Cage is interesting, but Grafdigger's Cage hits me as well. So I'm thinking about these 8 cards here. I definitely don't need the Hex Drinkers in this sort of idea. 5 more cuts from here. I think we have to come off the Dismembers and respect the combo plan more. We are on the play though. Maybe Poxwalkers? Basic Forest I think can go. And one of the Poxy boys. So maybe I'll keep a Dismember over a Poxwalker as well. And then we've got a random smattering of cards which will interact with them. We've got a Dismember, we've got 6 Null Rods, we've got 3 Vigors, a variety of traps for them to fall into. Cool. Whilst this hand does have a bunch of sideboard cards, it doesn't have any mana or any Bazaar. This has got a Bazaar, a Mindbreak Trap, a turn 1 VengeVine. So we'll keep this. We'll bottom the Dismember. How many VengeVines is too many VengeVines, sorry? I guess I put 2 into play now. Then lean on the Mindbreak Trap. This turn. And if all of this resolves, next turn we can just cast a VengeVine. So opponent falls to 12. We've got a trap if they go for something quick, and if they don't go for something quick, we'll just play a Gaia's Cradle and kill them. Tabernacle, obviously, a massive beat in this position, but they probe me and they see the Mindbreak. They understand the joke now. You're dead on board and you've got 1 more spell to cast this turn. Ancestral Recall is a good spell to have as your second spell. But they have made their land drop. So non-lethal turns from here would have to go through a Time Walk with Force of Will protection into a Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. But I don't even know if they play the tab, it's just that's the main thing that we're exposed to here, that and just immediate death. It's going to be a tight line for the opponent, but they have got 9 cards, so 9 cards, perfect information. And a passing of priority is pretty tough. They go to clean up. They discard Time Walk Vampiric Tutor. Play a Gaia's Cradle. I cast a Mox Emerald. I cast a VengeVine. I attack you. An opponent concedes. Or I lag out, one or the other. Oh no, I lag out. Fine. And we win the match. That was cool though. That was a cool match. Like that bit in game 2 where it looks like they're still quite controlling and then we just die from hand, right? I think I should have sussed out that they were still combo in the fact that I saw them post a trophy with a combo deck and then they played Rebuild game 1. So I think that's 2 very good clues that they're a combo deck, right? But yeah, let's go to round 4. Okie dokie, round 4. I think it's Black Lotus. I've got one. What have I got here? I've got a very quick Hex Drinker start. So I can like play a Lotus, cast a Hex Drinker, take it to protection from instants, have a Chalice of the Void, kill your 2 Moxen, but you can't play Moxen because I've got a Chalice of the Void. I think I still mulligan. I don't know what they're playing as part of the problem with that. Is this hand more interesting? Gaia's Cradle. 2 Hex Drinkers and a Gaia's Cradle. I really like Hex Drinker, but I'm just concerned that it's not going to do anything. But with a Gaia's Cradle, they go high quite quickly. This hand's like more redundant than the other hand, right? The other hand really relied on the Lotus. Maybe we can give it a go. What would I put back though? Just Beseech? This kind of dies to a Force though. Let's play a Gaia's Cradle and play a Hex Drinker. Because next turn I can still cast my Vigor, right? Maybe quite anemic. I have a Flooded Strand. There's no Lurrus over there. Underground Sea. Ponder. So maybe Doomsday. Maybe just a big Tinker deck. If it's a big Tinker deck, then Hex Drinker can attack through a Sphinx as a Steel Wind. Next turn, one of these will attack for 4, the other one attack for 2, and then we Wasteland them. They probe me, so see that. And then they pass the turn. I draw a hollow one, which I can't cast. Let's Wasteland prior to putting counters on. Because now I can't run into like a random snuff out. So this guy's got the counters on him. Attack for 6. Opponent falls to 11. Then we attack for 8. Opponent will fall to 3. And then we'll see where we're at. So Misty Rainforest gets another Underground Sea, casts another Ponder. They've seen a good number of cards. They haven't found any fast mana just yet, or they're sandbagging the fast mana. Let's do the exact same line as well, so we can just mirror our turns every turn. And then counters on our guy. Opponent falls to 2. I will admit that running Runner Wastelands into our opponent has been pretty good, seeing as their hand's been quite slow. But there are Underground Sea Dark Ritual lines which will definitely win from here. So, Scalding Tarn. Opponent goes to 1. Gets an Underground Sea. Please cast a Ponder. Ah, so close. Consider, though, gives away that they're on Doomsday. And they concede the game. Okay, so the Doomsday matchup. What do we like? We like the Mindbreak traps. We don't like the Ravenous trap that can get out of here. And we like the Endurances. We can come off Poxwalker and add... Maybe add a Rod, maybe not add a Rod. Come off Poxwalker. And come off the Hex Drinkers slightly. So now we're like slightly less graveyard reliant. I probably don't need a Forest. I can just make that a Caracas just in case of Shieldred. I like Chalice in games 1 and 2 because that's going to just make their pile a bit more difficult. It's not like a lights out thing, but it can be the difference between a win now pile or a pass the turn pile. And obviously passing a turn against my aggro deck is kind of tough. Here we've got the potential for turn 1 double VengeVibes if we want to throw our Vigor away to an Endurance. Obviously if they play a Leyline now, we will be priced into Vigoring it. So we'll keep this. It looks like there is a bit of a pause here. Opponent's either still mulliganing or has a Leyline of the Void. Doesn't have a ley line, did take a mulligan to 6. Polluted Delta, Snow-Covered Island, and a Ponder. Okay then. I would like to draw another 0-drop creature this turn. Or just another green card so that I can... Well, no, because I'm always pitching the Endurance, aren't I? Okay, so Snow-Covered Island into Ponder. An opponent probes me again. I've got 5 cards in hand. I'm going to be attacking for 8 this turn. What do I need? I need a hollow one, right? Or I just need green card second Endurance. The Gaia's Cradle. Let's play and activate. There's a Once Upon a Time, which could sandbag Endurance. So let's go discard the 3 cards we're going to discard. In response to our Madness trigger, we'll cast a Once Upon a Time in case we find a hollow one. We find fuck all. Strip Mine, I guess. It's going to be the main thing. And then I am gonna pitch cast this Endurance because I just want my power and toughness in play. So let's pitch cast. Do I want to reshuffle them? It will keep them off their treasure cruisers and stuff, won't it? So I probably should. They've got 5 cards. We can definitely die this turn, but I think this is a perfectly acceptable sort of line to take. I feel like passing the turn, I'm just not getting anywhere, right? They know about my Endurance. They're not going to run into it. They've got something close to perfect information here, right? They don't know about like one of the cradles, maybe both the cradles. Opponent has another Ponder. Which is good for us, but then like Ritual Doomsday Gush is still going to kill us. If they're able to come up with that. But once again, our opponent is just like dead on board without much in terms of like mana developed. They never have board presence. It's just the mana development can be is the big thing, right? If they're just sat on a bunch of Force of Wills that don't do anything. Ponder resolves, opponent concedes. Nice. So that puts us to 3-1, I think, and we're off to the next round. We're up against Black Lotus again, and we're pretty convinced they're on Doomsday. This hand is interesting at best. If I hit the Bazaar off the Once Upon a Time, it's the nuts. Otherwise, I just play a 4-mana 4/3 haste, which is, if I'm honest, slightly below vintage power level. It's tempting though, isn't it? But I think we've just got to ship it. This is hella worse. Ugh. Okay. To 5 we go. And now we start to weep a little bit. Because again, turn 2 Collector Reef isn't doing anything. I have regrets. I wish I could play a 4-mana 4/3 for 4. On turn 1 instead. Not many gamers in the queues today. We're going to mulligan. Bazaar, VengeVibes, and a Dream. Nice. I'll drop the Vigor because I'm not going to have the cards, right? I'm going to have 4 cards. Maybe I will have the cards. Mulligan to 3. So I'll keep 4. No, I'll drop the Vigor. I'll drop the 2 Gaia's Cradles and keep the Yavimaya. Opponents on the play. We keep the Yavimaya here because the dream is we activate Bazaar of Baghdad. We flip into a Lizard and a Collector Roof. And then we untap on turn 2. Attacking for 9 with a Collector Roof in play. And that's roughly our game plan. I know that's a bit exactsy, but it's what we're working with, you know? So we get a little bit of selection off of this Bazaar as well. Not a lot, but enough. And if I just hit 2 hollow ones... Oh, opponent's got like fuck all cards in hand, actually. Island, Ponder, and 2. So they've got 2... They mulligan to 4 as well. Okay, so that makes us like slightly more happy, but it's still Doomsday. Oh, there's a Black Lotus. Oh yeah, rip it. Okay, so turn 2 Collector Roof is going to be too slow. Opponent's going to be on 10. I can draw hollow one for the turn, activate Bazaar, draw 2 VengeVibes. Like, mulligan to 4, kill on turn 2 is pretty powerful. I don't think they can get into more cards, right? Even if they've got a Street Wraith in hand. No. But this is just going to be Ancestral Recall, draw my Lotus and my Thassa's Oracle, thanks for joining. And I need to 10 them off the bat. Both players on 4. Nice stuff. I guess you can do this, right? You know your opponent can't interact with this. So it's over to me. I draw a Black Lotus. Okay, so that's a really big game if I can hit an Oof or a Rod. Let's activate the Bazaar. I cannot hit an Oof or a Rod. So I'll discard VengeVibes, Yavimaya Cradle, Mox Ruby, cast a Black Lotus. We aren't going to win this game, but that Black Lotus top deck meant we had outs, you know. Maybe I'm supposed to play different here, actually. Maybe I'm supposed to know that. What would it look like? Lotus, cycle, hollow 1, hold Ruby. So discard the Hex Drinker, hold the Ruby. Lotus, cycle, hollow 1, pray for the Miracle, collect a Roof. Maybe that was actually better because we know we're not winning without a collect a Roof. Yeah, so I think that was a mistake on our part. We'll wait for them to kill us and then we'll see if we can take a look at our next card. I'm very good at that, very good at coming up the line 30 seconds after. But this is just Ancestral Lotus Oracle. I'm completely hellbent, nothing I can do. I still would have been in a lot of trouble, right? Even if I'd hit the Miracle Collector Roof, because I wouldn't have had the hollow one. Our Magic Online won't tell us. Okay, so we'll never know. Cool. So, I like the Mind Breaks. I like the Endurance. I don't believe I need the Forest. Do I want more rods? I don't know if that was opponent's game plan, was like, I need a turn 2 kill. But it's certainly a good one, you know? But maybe they have to be a bit more chill about it in game 2 when they know I've got access to Endurance and Mind Break Traps. I think they saw both those cards last round. Okay, game 2 then. We're on the play this time around. And we've got Bazaar, Lotus, Collector Roof, VengeVibes, so that is right, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll keep this. Got a load of glare. I think this is one of those spots where I will lead on the Lotus. Lead on Lotus, activate Bazaar of Baghdad, pray for a creature. There's a Poxwalker, which doesn't do it. There is a mental misstep. I'm still gonna crack my Lotus to cast my Oof. It's not exciting, but it's a play, you know. It's a play that could be disruptive. I could hold, because then next turn I could do something like play a Poxwalker, and then try and play an Oof. No, it doesn't even work either, does it? Right, opponent didn't mulligan this game. We couldn't beat their 4-card hand, so I don't know how we keep their 7-card hand. I think I might just snap that off. Opponent passes. Like, they can roll out a Mox if they want to, but they don't want to. There's a Lizard. So I'll activate, see what I come up with. I would like to Wasteland, but if I have to pay mana into another Collector Roof, I will. So Lizard, Wasteland, Yavimaya will go away. We'll cast the Lizard. We get the freebie Poxwalker on the way through. We play a Gaia's Cradle. We cast another Collector Roof. And now we attack. We beat their Tabernacle. because we've got the Cradle. Opponent falls to 14. Is presumably close to dead on board. 3, 6, 10, 14, yeah. So they're going to need something somewhat special here, I think, to get anywhere. They've got the Delta. I can't quite come up with anything. Because, like, let's say they consider they Dark Ritual, they Gush. You've made a land drop, your artifacts don't work. You can't Gush into double Snuff Out, you know. Let's just take a draw step. I'm not going to... They might have a Fatal Push, but that's fine. Attack. Move to blocks. Pump a Lizard. And if I can count, they'll not be playing anymore. Yep. Xaxes. Okay, that was a cool one. Anything else on the draw that we want? I don't think so. I think we're pretty good here. They haven't shown that they've got a Shield Rid. They haven't shown that they've got a Murktide Regent or anything like that. We don't have a Bazaar of Baghdad, so we're going to be sending this one away. And we mulligan. This is also nonsense. These Vigors might be bad. I'll keep a Cradle. Bazaar Endurance. This is very interactive, isn't it? And it's got the Bazaar of Baghdad, so we'll keep it. And then we hope to just throw resources at them, and then at some point have a board state, like a few lizards that just swing by every now and then. Just a cheeky visit from a lizard sort of thing. Okay, so game 3, opponent's mulligan to 5 again. Hopefully they're just going to punt off a major quick attack. I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need them knowing about my Mind Break. Underground Sea and pass. Okay then. So I will play Bazaar of Baghdad and I will flip for lizards. Now that I've drawn this Poxwalkers. I can't cast this Endurance, but we'll still discard in the way that is obvious. That presents a clock. Maybe I could have held the VengeVibes and got rid of the Beseech actually. And I would have green card Mind Break Trap. And if they tab us here, I think that's absolutely fine. We can develop a land and still have cards behind. It doesn't take much for us to get some creatures into play. But where we're low on resources, we might not be in the market for flipping too many times if they tabernacle us. So, opponent's on 4 cards, another heavy mulligan game. So, Ponder is the play. The opponent does have the tab. Okay then. That's fine. My creatures are in the graveyard. They've got 3 cards in hand. I draw a hollow one. So what would hollow one look like from here? I'm just discarding Endurance, Beseech. No, Endurance and the 2 cards I draw, right? Maybe that's still good because it's still a clock. Like if I hit a Gaia's Cradle, then I get an upgrade. So let's discard Endurance, Lizard, Beseech. Cast a Lizard. Get a Poxwalkers into play. Cast a hollow one. Get a VengeVibes into play. They're all back. Play Yavimaya Cradle, which does unlock their Tabernacle for mana, but it does also mean that I get to keep 8 power in play. So Opponent falls to 14, and then we'll kill them across 2 turns with Chalice of the Void Mindbreak Trap as interaction. They've got 3 cards in hand, so hopefully they don't have the resources to get too much in a fight with. And hopefully they just run into our trap. It's another Ponder for the opponent. I have some vague hopes for this game, actually. Poxwalkers and Lizard obviously going to die. Ponder happens, they find a Scalding Tarn, and they just pass the turn there. So it comes to us. We're going to keep the 2 4-power creatures alive. So Null Rod, which I can't really afford to ever get into play without like a top deck Gaia's Cradle next turn. Here's some action from the opponent. Underground Sea. Looks like we're pushing a VengeVine. Yeah, pushing a VengeVine. Opponent falls to 9, so it's going to be slightly slower. And here we are exposed to Consult Thoracle if they've got another land. They've got Consider. So not this turn for Consult Thoracle. 2 cards on the opponent's side of the table. Fetching the Misty. And this is a Treasure Cruise. And I can't trap that, can I? No. Okay. Opponent passes the turn. We'll pay with Yavimaya, because if we can flip into double Lizard, we'll win. Obviously low prevalence, but there's 1 Lizard. I guess I go for it. I'm not doing anything else, right? VengeVine. Well, I'll hold a Lizard. I'll discard the other stuff. I can't get anything else into play. We'll attack for 4. Opponent is at 4. And now this is going to be... They've just cruised. Consider and Cruise was a plays last turn. And we've got Ritual, Doomsday, Gush, Street Wraith as a very convenient... Oh no, Street Wraith doesn't work. But the extra land means any cantrip will work, right? 1, 2, 3 is the Doomsday. Okay. 3 cards behind. How does this work then? Doomsday. Ancestral, I continue to have a Chalice of the Void. You've made a land drop. And then... Yeah, you've made a land drop though. So Gush into Chain of Vapor Lotus. Yeah, that would work. That would work. It's just if they've got any protection in hand, right? Or if they can build protection into that stack. Because I won't be able to fight the Gush. Okay. They didn't have the Gush. So we go 4 and 1 with the old AggroVine. That's quite cool. Beating Doomsday twice, splitting games against Mono White, and then beating Lurrus Beseech Storm. So I do love this deck. I think it's a lot of fun. It's definitely slightly underpowered for the format. Like, we didn't play against it, but when you come up against those Lurrus control decks, it's not a good time. And that's really the main problem. But I think the deck's enjoyable to play. It's worth picking up and having a go if you fancy. Main deck Vigors, you can take it or leave it. You can make this into other cards, maybe more Poxwalkers, another Hex Drinker, a different variety of Collector Roofs. So lots of different points to play with. I play the extra land. I only play the 3 Cradles. A lot of people play 4 when they play this deck. You've got Hogak and Bloodghast that we haven't featured today. So thanks for watching. That was a lot of fun, that league. And yeah, in the coming days we've got Tarkir Dragonstorm, and we'll see what that brings vintage. I'd like to try a Beanstalk deck. I think that's where I'm gonna go next. Anyway, see you soon.